Hiram Hicks calls me and says I got this new group. And I'm like, cool. I'm not thinking about the group being competition to Jagged Edge, but whatever. I'm just trying to do projects. He's like, I need you to do a remix. I'm like, what? He's like, this group, Drew Hill, they got this song called Sleeping in My Bed. The song #1, but we need the up-tempo remix. And I'm like, oh, we need something to keep, give us some more legs. Mix show type of.
Yeah.
Hey, look, and if for those of y'all that are too young to know, when Jermaine Dupri did a remix back in the day, it was a big deal. Like, it was one of them things where the remix would be bigger than the original song. So when somebody, like you said, they're calling him saying, hey, yo, we need you to do a remix. That was a big thing back in the day. Jermaine Dupri's remix is crazy.
And I'm like, okay. All right. I start going back to do what I do. I start messing with the turntables. I find a beat. I'm like, yeah, you need to fly them to Atlanta and I'm gonna have them re-sing it. And they flew. They all flew to Atlanta, but the only person came to the studio was Cisco.
What?
Huh. Interesting.
So Cisco come to the studio, and I'm like, where the rest of the group at? He's like, I don't need them. Play the beat.
We'll need
That was the comment. Wow. Okay, yeah, play the beat.
So I'm like, okay, it wasn't like a diss.
I'm David Ruffin.
It wasn't like a diss, but it was just like, I got it. I got it.
Yes.
I got it, right? So I said, all right, we're gonna do it to this beat. And I start playing the boom, boom, doom, 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 doom. And he's like, ooh. And I said, you gotta make the lyrics go to this beat. And it took a minute, and then he starts singing. Somebody sleep in my bed.
Yeah.
Somebody sleeping in my bed. So I'm like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, right? And I'm also so I'm like, me and Pratt should get on this month. All right, so I'm going.
Everybody mad.
So we going and we make the remix, right? This remix comes out. Usher called me. Why the you give them that song? I'm like, it's a remix. Song.
Right.
It's a remix. I didn't give him a song. Now you gave him that beat. Get out of here, Usher. Okay, man. Usher's mad to this day about this song. To this day. Usher see this, he gonna be Usher. You ain't have to get him that beat. Jagged come to the studio. Why you get that beat?
Yeah.
I'm like, what you talking about? That's our competition, and you gonna help them. So I'm like, oh. I'm like, y'all got a #1 record right now.
Right.
Nah, that you gave them that beat. So then I'm feeling bad. I feel like I done let my guys down.
You did.
Did
I mean, looking at it from the outside, yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate. You did.
Okay.
You got a 4
You gave a
guy
competition
group who's
a
in
missile.
competition with another 4-guy group. A smash.
I didn't know that was a smash though. I didn't know something. I'm just
At
doing.
this point,
I'm just
you
doing
keep doing smashes. What do you
It's a
mean?
remix.
It doesn't matter.
remix smash.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know that. You don't know that's gonna happen. It's a remix.
It's called Jermaine for a reason, brother. But go ahead.
But it's a remix.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So I'm not actually thinking that it's gonna translate into what it translated into.
Yeah.
It started turning crazy, going crazy. Every club, every radio station, every club. Then the song, the remix replaced the original in #1.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
So
what I'm
now
saying.
it's a hit, like what it is, right? Jagged. It's f***ed up, man. Every time I see them, that's what the conversation is. That's f***ed up. You gave them that song, you gave them that song. So then I'm like, I gotta remix one of these records. I gotta do something. I gotta figure it out. I gotta make them. It's a killer remix. We gotta do it. So we started getting in the studio, me and Marcus Jefferson. Mark, he put the Run DMC.
Oh,
We ain't gotta change the lyrics. I'll make it.
I already know what you're gonna say. I already
wait.
know what you're gonna say.
Do it work? Yeah. Okay. So deaf. remix.
Yeah.
DMC to the beat chop. I'm saying because like
Yeah,
got
that's
it.
why you saying
Yeah, that's
that,
why I
though.
said it. I'm saying it because I'm like, oh, I got it. Got it. See, first of all,
Outta
no,
here.
these so come. Yeah, so that's how the remix came about. I had to do it because they was on my head.
See, these are the stories that I like hearing. You know, we talk about news and hip hop and all that stuff, but I like hearing origin stories of how some of the greatest songs ever in hip hop R&B history were made. Now, of course, like I said, in the 90s, Jermaine Dupri, he was a super, super big deal. If you wanted a remix, you probably went to Puffy or you went to JD. Now, of course, me being from Atlanta, I'm a side with JD just because we grew up hearing a lot of JD's music. And with a song like Sleeping in My Bed, I actually heard the remix before I actually heard the original song. Now, around this time, I'm a kid, you know what I mean? But I knew who So So Def was because of Crisscross and stuff like that. So, you know, by the time that remix hit, it was like, yo, this is fire. And like I said, everybody back in the day went to JD for the remix. I mean, the first time I heard Jay-Z was on a JD record. So JD was everywhere making moves. And, you know, in defense of Jagged Edge, they had their own hits too. But that record, that In My Bed record, remix was a smash hit. And like I said, you had the Brat on there, you had him on there rapping. It was a dope record. But it's funny to hear these other R&B artists complain about getting a record because even somebody like Usher got laced with some heat back in the day. Jagged Edge got laced with heat back in the day. And I think it was just a good time overall for R&B music, especially black R&B music back in the day, because you had people in those positions making those decisions and putting us in the forefront. And then he also talked about the remix that he did with the Jagged Edge record, Let's Get Married. That was a smash. If you got married in the 90s or around that time when that record came out, 9 times out of 10, you probably got married to that record or you probably played it at your reception at some point. But very, very big deal, man. JD is a very huge focal point of the Atlanta music scene. I honestly feel like he doesn't get the flowers he deserves, especially for cultivating artists, putting his energy in the artists, and overall just controlling that sound in Atlanta for such a long time. And like you said, one day he'll get his flowers, you know, fully. You know, I know people pay, they give him his props here and there, but one day he will fully get his flowers. But yeah, man, it's the Kid Ríez. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all be safe, stay carefree, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.